with the name of Allah. You are welcome in my lectures in cost accounting. In this lecture, I will explain process costing system FIFO method. In process costing FIFO costing method, there are 5 steps. Number 1, summarize the flow of physical units. Number 2, compute the equivalent number of units produced. Number 3, summarize the total costs to be accounting for. Number 4, compute costs per equivalent unit. And number 5, prepare the production cost report. Step number 1, the flow of physical units. Any process has beginning inventory that is incompleted units. Units started that are empty units. Total beginning inventory plus units started equal total inputs. On the other side, there are units completed and transferred out that are completed units, and ending inventory that is incompleted units. Total units completed and transferred out plus ending inventory equal total output. So the flow of physical units consists of 2 parts. Part number 1, beginning work in process inventory plus units started equal total inputs. Part number 2 is units completed and transferred out plus ending work in process inventory equal total outputs. The second step, to calculate equivalent units. Beginning inventory, for example, 30 units. Units started 70 units. Units completed and transferred out 80 units. And ending inventory 20 units. Under FIFO costing method, units completed and transferred out 80 units come from 2 sources. Beginning inventory 30 units and units started 50 units. Because I must complete beginning inventory in the first in this accounting period. After that, I will complete from the units started. So, the equivalent units equal beginning inventory times 100% minus completion degree. Because I must complete beginning inventory in the first. After that, I will complete from the units started. So, units completed and transferred out minus beginning inventory times 100%. This is the units started and completed. That means 80 units minus 30 units equal 50 units. These units come from units started and completed. Plus ending inventory times completion degree. So, equivalent units equal beginning inventory times 100% minus completion degree plus units completed and transferred out minus beginning inventory times 100% plus ending inventory times completion degree. Example 1 on page 31. Consider the following data for a process A in manufacturing company during October. 900 units in beginning inventory, 60% to complete for all cost elements. 2,100 units started in process during the current period. 2,600 units completed and transferred out. 400 units in ending inventory, 20% to complete for all cost elements. Required. Determine FIFO equivalent units in process A. Step number 1, the flow of physical units, data and the department A. Under data, beginning work in process inventory 900. Between brackets, the completion degree 60%. Plus units started 2,100. Total inputs equal 3,000. Units completed and transferred out 2,600 plus ending work in process inventory 400, between brackets the completion degree 20%, total output equal 3000. Total inputs must equal total outputs, in this example 3000. Step number 2. FIFO equivalent units equal beginning inventory times 100% minus completion degree plus units completed and transferred out minus beginning inventory times 100% plus ending inventory times completion degree. Beginning inventory 900 times 100% minus completion degree for beginning inventory 60% plus units completed and transferred out 2600 minus beginning inventory 900 times 100% plus ending inventory 400 times completion degree 20%, all equal 2114 units. Step number 3, summarize the total cost is given in the example. Step number 4, calculate cost per equivalent units that's equal current cost divided by FIFO equivalent units. Example 2 on page 31. Consider the following data for a department in manufacturing company during March. FIFO equivalent units are 5,000 units. The department costs during March are as follows. Costs are given for direct material, direct labor, and indirect manufacturing cost. Cost of beginning inventory for direct material 4,100, for direct labor 750, and for indirect manufacturing cost 150. Current cost for direct material 54,000, for indirect labor 22,000, and for indirect manufacturing cost 3,000. Required: determine cost per unit under FIFO costing method. In this example, the equivalent units are given 5,000, so I will directly calculate cost per unit. Cost per unit equal current cost divided by FIFO equivalent units. So 55,000 for direct material plus 22,000 for direct labor and 3,000 for indirect manufacturing cost, all divided by 5,000 equal 15.8. Step number 5, prepare the production cost report. The production cost report consists of two parts: input cost and output cost. Input cost is costs of beginning inventory and current cost. Output cost is cost of units completed and transferred out and cost of ending inventory. Example 3 on page 32. Consider the following data for a process A in manufacturing company during November. 800 units in beginning inventory, 40% complete for all cost elements. 1,200 units started in process during the current period. 1,800 units completed and transferred out. Units in ending inventory, 20% complete for all cost elements. The department costs during November are as follows. Costs are given for direct material and conversion costs. Cost of beginning inventory for direct material 1,036, for conversion cost 520, current cost for direct material 4,080, for conversion cost 2,000. Required: prepare the production cost report under FIFO costing method. Step number 1, the flow of physical units. Beginning inventory 800, between brackets the completion degree 40%, plus units started 1,200, total inputs 2,000, units completed and transferred out 1,800, plus ending inventory 200, between brackets the completion degree 20%, total output 2,000. Step number 2, FIFO equivalent units equal beginning inventory times 100% minus completion degree plus units completed and transferred out minus beginning inventory times 100% plus ending inventory times completion degree. Beginning inventory 800 times 100% minus completion degree for beginning inventory 40% plus units completed and transferred out 1,800 minus beginning inventory 800 times 100% plus ending inventory 200 times completion degree for ending inventory 20%, all equal 1,520 units. Step number 3, total cost given. Step number 4, cost per unit equal current cost divided by FIFO equivalent units. Current cost 4,080 for direct material plus 2,000 for conversion cost divided by FIFO equivalent units 1,520, so the cost per unit equal 4. Step number 5, the production cost report. It consists of two parts, input cost and output cost. Input cost is costs of beginning inventory and current costs. Output cost is costs of units completed and transferred out and the cost of ending inventory. Under FIFO costing method, cost of units completed and transferred out consists of three parts. Part number 1, cost in beginning inventory. This cost is incurred in the previous accounting period. Part number 2, cost to complete beginning inventory. This cost is incurred in current accounting period. And the cost of units started and completed, also this cost is incurred in current accounting period. So, cost of units completed and transferred out equal cost in beginning inventory plus cost to complete beginning inventory plus cost of units started and completed. Return to example on page 32. Input cost, cost of beginning inventory. This data is given in the example. Direct material 1,036, conversion cost 520, total 1,556. Current cost, direct material 4,080, conversion cost 2,000, total 6,080. Total input cost 7,636. The second part of the production cost report under FIFO is output cost. Cost of units completed and transferred out, that is, consists of three parts. Cost in beginning inventory. This part is given in the example. Direct material 1,036, conversion cost 520. The second part, cost to complete units in beginning inventory. Units in beginning inventory 800. To complete them, that's mean 100% minus the completion degree. So 100% minus 40% times the cost per unit 4 equal 1,920. The third part, cost of units started and completed. To calculate units started and completed, that's equal units completed minus beginning inventory. So 1,800 units minus 800 units times 4, cost per unit 4 equal 4,000. The total cost of units completed and transferred out is 7,476. After calculating the cost of units started and completed, that was 7,476, I will calculate cost of ending inventory. Ending inventory 200 units times completion degree for ending inventory 20% times cost per unit 4, that's equal 160. 160 plus 7,476 equal the total output cost 7,636. The total output cost must be equal the total input cost. By the end of this lecture, you have skills to prepare the production cost report under FIFO costing method for the first process. Thank you, goodbye.